Vegas Reno 2023, didn't think we could top last year, just winning, coming off that high. We were stoked to do it again and to get back there. Tested again this summer and it went really well. Just put a lot of effort into making sure that we had what we wanted to try to dominate this race again. And lots of tuning and got a truck that was even better than last year. Didn't think that was possible, but it was. And so that just was a great momentum leading into qualifying this year, and we were stoked.
We did a lot of work to this truck. This is the new to us truck that we picked up at the end of last year. We raced San Felipe with it and did well. It just wasn't totally to our liking, so we spent the summer out in G, Nevada with Wayne at Alltech and Eibach, making a lot of suspension changes along with some other changes that don't need to be in this video.
And lots of tuning and got a truck that was even better than last year. Didn't think that was possible, but it was.
Qualifying we did out in Amargosa Valley. It was a hot one. It was a little over 105 out there. In the truck, we saw temps upwards of 135.
And went to take off on our timed run. And about a mile in, there was a truck that had started before us that was stuck. And so that had us slow down. The course workers slowed us down quite a bit for it. And then we had to drive around kind of slow. So we were kind of discussing back and forth in the truck, should we go, should we not? And I was like, you know what, let's just see how this run goes. Finished out the lap and felt like it was a pretty solid run. Didn't think I had given up that much time. So we kind of just, we left it. We didn't ask for a rerun or anything like that. Felt like we did what we needed to do. And all things shook out, we ended up 5th. So looking back on it, yeah, we definitely gave up more time than I think I realized. And so I felt like we should have been a little higher in the stack. Could we have contended for the pole? I don't know. But you know what, 5th starting here at Vegas Reno, we felt like the strategy that we had was gonna play into our hands and we would just buy our time and go from there. So all in all, qualifying was a clean run, truck was good, cleaned it up, went to tech and got ready for race day. Race day, we woke up in Beatty, Nevada, as we always do. We like to stay a little closer to the start line. Crew was ready, went over a quick pit meeting and just kind of got everybody to make sure we were all still on the same page and got ready to go racing. Pull up to the start line, you know, last minute check drinkers, all that stuff, and lined up and we took off. Things started out really well. You know, I knew from a few years ago when they started out there that the beginning was very, very fast and quite dusty, and so but I didn't want to give up too much time starting 5th there. So pushed really hard. By first pit, we had made up quite a bit of time on the guys that started just in front of us. Next couple trucks got some splits, and I think we had them a little bit on corrected time, so it was like, okay, the pace is really good, and just kept pushing. One of them falls out early, stuffs it in a dish, and so we were able to get by them, and then we're just looking, so now we're sitting 4th and catch up to the guy in 3rd. Coming into pit 3, and he's catching a slower trophy truck that was back in the pack, and he gets around him, and unfortunately we can't get him. So we sit behind this slow trophy truck for, gosh, I don't know how many miles, but it was at least a few pits worth. So that was super frustrating, gave up quite a bit of time there. I don't know, guy wasn't looking back or what, thinking he's racing us, we're a different class. So really wish we could have got around him sooner, but finally he pulls over. We get by, we're back in the race. I feel like, hey, now we charge. We see Brent Fox, who had started first, off to the side of the road. So it's like, cool, now there's only 2 guys in front of us. Run to the next couple pits, somewhere in between there, Pecoy, we pass him somewhere, and we just have Blauer ahead of us. So here it is, kind of another scenario just like last year, you know, a Herp truck and a Herp truck running for the top spots, and you know, a little while later, we see Blauer on the side of the road, and now it's cool. It's like, hey, game on. This is our race to take, and we first truck on the road, just running really clean. Brady's calling just great notes, and just trying not to have any issues. Coming up into Costa Mina, there is a medical emergency that happens.
Unfortunately, a motorcyclist went down around race mile 320. And that put a temporary stop to the race. He had a broken femur, so we actually came to a complete stop with a group of trucks. We were able to record our time that we stopped. That way we could get the time back, the time credited from the stoppage. Once we got through there, we were all bunched back up again. Unfortunately, we had put a ton of time. We were physically first at this point. We had put a ton of time on 2nd and 3rd place, but with that stoppage, it's almost like a caution flag at a NASCAR race. It bunches everybody back up. So all that gap that you just worked for just vanishes.
From there, they just say, go. So here we are with a couple of trophy trucks in front of us, and now the lead 3 spec trucks are stacked up. So it's a sprint to the finish for the next couple 100 miles, and trying to kind of shake out as everybody just settles back into the groove and just outside the dust of everybody. And we pushed really hard to Gabs, hoping we can just put enough time on the guys that were right behind us now that had gained that time. To stay in front of them, we were able to stay in front of one truck, but Picoy gets back in front of us. And so knowing he had to pit one more time, we pushed as hard as we could to try to get to Top Gun, just staying close to him. And fortunately we do. Again, no issues, but just it's pretty brutal driving straight into the sun and into the hanging dust. Believe it or not, the dust is so thick that it almost becomes night at certain pockets, that it's just blinding and dark. But pushed through that as fast as we could without making any mistakes. Get to Top Gun, and we clear Picoy and all the other trophy trucks. I don't know if they'd pit there or somewhere else, but we get clean air to the finish. So from Top Gun to the finish, if I get clean air, much like I did last year, I feel confident no one's going to catch us there. And so we just drove like crazy to get to the finish. And the next up to Weeks is a pretty good, really fast, fun, graded type roads. But after Weeks to the finish, it's really, things can change for so many reasons. I mean, so many races are won and lost in that section. So, you know, it's not like a cruise to the finish. It gets very rocky, very technical, very mountainous at the end.
And from there, it was no looking back. We just charged all the way to the finish. Got to the last 40 miles of this race, which is super rocky, and just took it easy through there, knowing that second and third had to pass us and put time on us to get us on corrected time. So
pushed really hard through all that stuff, and then just tried to take it somewhat easy through the rocks, but still maintaining a good pace because we didn't want to get caught from behind for any reason. But again, knowing if they did catch us from behind, they would have to pass us and put some time on. So I really felt like we controlled the race and the pace, and make that final turn and launch jump into the finish line, and we knew we had it, and it was just a really solid day. The pit stops were phenomenal. The guys just did a great job in and out with fuel factory fuel and brand new BFG tires. So, you know, all things considered, to have this Eibach truck 2 years in a row back to back on the spec is just fantastic, and we're super pumped, and it's obviously what we work to do. We want to win races, and we want to win a lot of them, so this just adds to it, and we're ready for the next one.